Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of Freedom, Flexibility, and Finances. I'm your co-host, Chris Angel, here with your host, Peter Weller. Hello, Peter.
Hey, Chris. Long time no chat to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, absolutely. We stayed connected through Facebook in between episodes, which I think in some ways has inspired our conversation today, in some ways.
It has. You got real emotional on a Facebook live post.
I did, yeah.
And it caused me to go really internal on some of my stuff. So, it's the tribe that we run in, the people that we run with, and the collective unconscious of the people that we run with cause us to have a whole different level of thinking sometimes.
Yeah.
And we've got to be able to share that transparently. And I thank you for hosting this with me. I couldn't do it without you.
Yeah.
And likewise, you've got some deep stuff that you're not sharing out with people that, or at least not my crowd, that I think that people desire and want.
Yeah, it's a good transition to our topic in this episode, which is really identifying who you are. And I think this is the kind of content that you and I gravitate to. You're a deep dude. You're always thinking about deep stuff. So we're talking about identifying who you are. And I think we said before we hit record, like, people want to know their purpose. Viktor Frankl wrote Man's Search for Meaning. Like, there's a lot of stuff where people are like, what is this all for? Who am I? So give me a sense of, I don't want to make this too anecdotal, but give me a sense of where do we start with identifying?
Well, I think, for me to start identifying who we are, a lot of times I have to ask for feedback from people that I know, I like, that I trust.
Yeah.
And I know that they genuinely care or love me. And I say, what is my greatest feature that you absolutely love about me?
That's good. Yeah.
And I follow it up with, what's the one thing that you wish I would never, ever do again?
Why do you ask that question?
Because it brings levity to the conversation.
Okay.
And a lot of times it's the sarcastic joke, because when you bring humor to the situation, it eases the pain of however hurtful or however true the statement is.
Sure.
Because I believe hurt and truth sometimes are really the same feeling. And that's why we say the truth hurts. If we look at it, so I know I'm socially awkward.
Okay.
I just know this about me. So you put me into a group of brand new people that I haven't met, or there might be 3 or 4 people I haven't met before. And I reside to my internal programming of keeping my mouth quiet, not saying too much, because I don't want people to make fun of me. Yet I'm okay being the butt of the joke as well, which is really interesting when you look at the two. I don't like being made fun of, but I'm okay being the butt of the joke.
Yeah.
What does that mean? The butt of the joke generally means that I've got the shoulders big enough that you can pick on me, and I'm still going to smile and laugh, and it's not going to hurt. And the social awkward person, I don't want anybody to think less of me. So as I started identifying myself, I had to be really okay with me being a socially awkward introvert. And I show up as an extrovert once I get to know you.
Yeah.
And why is that? Because I don't do surface level conversations really well.
Right.
I like to have deep level conversations, because we are truly seeking for the meaning of life and what our purpose is. And are we fulfilling that purpose, and are we doing it fast enough?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of times we start looking too far in the future of who we want to become. And we forget to get content with who we are now.
I think it's hard because when we have when we, especially in business, right? When we go to classes and people are saying, let's set goals and let's double our goals. And we start going through all the different gymnastics of trying to stretch our minds to think bigger, and then also plan for, how do we reach the things we had in our minds? We start to go out into, at least this is true for me, I go out into the future of, I feel like I was made for more than this. I have things I want, experiences I want, and I'm not having it now. And so I end up getting really preoccupied with the future, and I'm having a hard time being content in the now.
Right. So let's look at just a computer. A computer has a default program. when you load on Windows or when you load on Linux,
Mm-hmm.
the operating software onto that computer,
Mm-hmm.
you're telling it everything that it needs to know. Yet it already knows how to turn on, how to run the program, how to take that data and put it up to the monitors,
Right.
and what part of the computer does what. So we've been taught for so long to go out and live a life by design. Go dream, go big, go do all of this stuff. Design your life
Mm-hmm.
so that you have to do, you be, do, have. You
Right.
got to become the person to have all of these things, but you
Right.
have to first become to be able to do all of these things.
Mm-hmm. Right.
This is the default programming.
Is the
So what I
B.
want to work, what I want to work on here is I don't want to program all of my programming here. I just want to program the activities on the B side. Like I wake up, I shower every day.
Mm-hmm.
I read a book every day.
Mm-hmm.
I try to move my body 45 minutes to an hour every single day.
Yeah.
So the default programming sets me up to have all of these things.
Yeah, I get that. The challenge in it though is, and I'm not disagreeing with you, I'm just playing devil's advocate, because the challenge then becomes, that saying, it goes, if you always do what you've always done, you always get what you always got, right? Like there is some truth in like expanding beyond our comfort zones and trying new things. And so there's
Correct.
this balance.
Correct. Okay. But with that particular saying, they're talking about do. So it's be, do, have.
Okay. Good.
So when we start working on the doing part, we eliminate the be. So what we need to do is we work on the be as opposed to the do.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
Now, who we have to become in all of our internal programming should be able to handle what we want to accomplish and what we want to do.
Yeah.
So one of the questions on who do I have to become is what do I have to do? Mm-hmm. And so it's real easy. If I want to build a house, I need to know how to frame a house. I need to know how to roof a house. I need to know how to do the foundation of the house. Or better yet, I just need to know all the people that does all that stuff.
Right.
Okay. So which part of building the house do I want to become? Which tools and trades do I want to pick up? Mm-hmm. So as I'm building a business, is this what I really want to do when I have everything that I want to have? And a lot of times the answer is no, but I've got to go through it. So if I work on becoming who I need to be to have the things, the doing's a natural process. So
it reminds me, when you said that, it reminds me of Jim Collins' Good to Great, one of my favorite books all time, if you guys haven't read that. And in that, it talks about preserving the core and stimulating progress. It's the yin yang symbol, right? And there's the Good to Great companies, on one hand, knew enough of who they were to preserve their core values, to preserve who they are. So similarly, you listening to this, the more you can do the stuff Pete says, like ask people, like, what are some of my best qualities, or take a disc profile, or just go find different angles that get at who you are. Mm-hmm. And preserve that. And then the stimulating progress part was just as new technologies came along or new opportunities came along, they always evaluated the technology and the opportunity based on, does this serve me? Not, oh, let's just all go do that now. Like, the comparison company. Yeah.
Does it fit what we need to do?
Yeah.
And is it part of who we have to become? And a lot of times the unsatisfaction comes in that we're trying to do it quick. I believe that McDonald's and Henry Ford did us no favors creating the assembly line in fast food. Because now we don't have delayed gratification. Yeah. So I think in goal setting, whatever time limit that we put on it, we should double it or triple it. Because it's going to take more time. It's going to take more energy than we could ever expect. Yeah. And along the way, the journey, we might actually change our mind. So I look at my particular run that I've had. I've been in real estate now for 5 years. I built a team. We did quite a few transactions, had several agents on my team, and then became a team leader, ran the office, and then I went back into production. When I went back into production, I had an option of running a team or being a solo agent.
Mm.
I chose to be a solo agent because I could live a higher net life now.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason being is because I didn't have all the costs and the overhead of the team. So who did I want to, I had to go through all the process of building the team, of being the team leader, to realize that once I did all those things, I wasn't going to have the net life that I wanted.
Yeah.
I had to restructure myself, and that came back to my vision. My vision for myself is to make money and have fun.
Mm.
We'll get into the vision in the next episode.
Yeah.
Yet, if it doesn't fit with my vision, I don't want to do it, and I definitely don't want to have it. So I think coming back to working on who we become works on our foundational side, and then that applies to everything else so that we can do and have what we want.
I think the more that we go through life, life as a timeline just gives us more repetitions in the game of life. So the longer you live, the more repetitions you get. But I think we get to see, the more time we have in that game, the more we get to see what things we like, what things we don't like. We start to develop our preferences. So for your example with you, you're like, okay, well, my preference is that I would rather have a higher net life now. And to do that, I'm going to be a solo agent because that allows me to have that. You got to see that because of the different experiences you had in life leading up to that choice.
Yep. Now, it doesn't mean my choice is the right choice for everybody out there. Right. It just means that I didn't want to go through all the doing to be able to have that lifestyle after it was all said and done.
Yeah.
I wanted something simpler.
It's important because I think that's a really important point, because I think sometimes, especially when we're new to business or new to an opportunity, but even after that, it's easy for us to make decisions based on what other people say. Or what other people think we should want. And you have to have enough self-awareness and enough conviction to make decisions that are congruent or authentic or in alignment with who you really are.
So identifying who we are takes time.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that we as a society take enough time to stop and realize who we are.
Yeah.
Journaling is what's helped me identify who I am to my core.
Yeah.
I read the journal in the morning. I write in the journal at night. I journal on Facebook. I do live videos to just myself on Facebook so that I can watch the progression over the year and watch my thought process. Mm-hmm. And over the last 5 years, what I can tell you that I've really learned is I understand some things that I thought everybody else just knew. And I've got to share that gift and that talent with the world.
Yeah.
And one of those talents is people, being able to ask people deep questions and then causing them to pause. So I have structured and built in a pause in my life, and throughout the course of the day to check in on myself to make sure that I am good doing the things that I have to do to be able to have the things that I want to have. It doesn't eliminate the goal setting. It doesn't eliminate the dreaming. What it does is it checks in on my being, because I'm a human being, not a human doing.
Yep. Right. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. Well, we could keep talking about this on and on. I think in the next episode, we can talk about, I think when you get to the end, when you start to have this conversation with yourself about who am I not, sometimes decisions come up in life where we have to pause, maybe shift our strategies, our perspectives, whatever, and then pivot. And I think the next episode we can talk about what we do with what's a pause, shift, pivot. But until then, Pete, I know that you're super generous. You're always a good person to talk to.
Yep.
If people want to reach out and talk to you about their own business questions and who they are, where can they go?
Absolutely. So we've got www.coachweller.com.
Okay.
In the upper right-hand corner is that ability to schedule a meeting. And that little link actually leads over to that kind of like Pete that we've been talking about.
Okay.
So one of two ways, either coachweller.com or kind of like Pete.com. And that's KINDALIKEPETE.
Got it. Both go to the same, same place, right? Same location.
Yep.
Okay. All right, perfect. Awesome. Okay, gang. So there you have it. Go connect with Pete at kindoflikepete.com. And I will, Pete, I'll catch you in the next episode. Thanks for your time today and all the deep thoughts that you are stirring for others. I love it. See ya.
Absolutely. Thanks.